We're talking now with Brent Holtzclaw, head coach of the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers. Coach, this afternoon, this Missouri S&T team comes to town with a 1-4 record. But when I look at their schedule, it tells me that record's a little misleading.
Yeah, I think they're one of the top 2-3 teams in our conference. There's no doubt. They've played a murder's row schedule in terms of real quality Division II opponents. You look, they played a top 10 team in Chadron State, top 5 team in Missouri Western. Played one of the better D3 schools around there, and actually they won that game by I think 2 scores in Wisconsin lacrosse, and then Lindenwood University over in St. Charles, Missouri, excellent D2 football program. And then last week they played the University of Indianapolis. So they've been well tested all year, and we're gonna have to really show up today to give ourselves an opportunity.
What you've been able to see on film or otherwise, what are the strong suits of this minor ball club?
They're very big, offensive, defensive line. We won't see a group this big. We did 2 weeks ago at Liberty, but they possess size-wise Division I size across their front. So, and it's something we're going to have to contend with. So, our guys are going to have to come out and man up and step up to the plate and take advantage of the opportunity we got.
Call them a passing team or a rushing team offensively?
They're pretty defensively.
Offensively,
they're a run-oriented team, but they will certainly throw the ball down the field. They've got a nice-sized quarterback. They got a couple good quick receivers, but they're a tempo-based team. They want to run a lot of plays, and they typically they want to be an off-tackle run team.
Got a pretty strong runner named Hudson, I think, number 23. He certainly is one of the better running backs in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good backs in the JLVC. So, but he's up there near the top. The kid from University of Indianapolis is a terrific running back, and but we'll have to know where he is all game. And like I said, the biggest thing is keeping their offensive line, off balance, because they do have they are massive up front.
What kind of quarterback is Reed Johnson? He's just a sophomore.
Yeah, he's a pocket guy, but he does a lot of nice job. When he gets out, he can do some things with the ball. So when he gets out of the pocket, so we'll have to contain him, keep an eye on the receivers. But the biggest strength they have is their offensive line does a great job in protecting him.
I was going to say, if he's a pocket guy, he's got the right size next to him or right in front of him there in the offensive line.
Yeah, they're like I said, their offensive line. I think their left tackle is 6'8", 310 pounds. So. Not that size is everything. Don't get me wrong. And, football's all about passion and playing with heart. So we got to get after it and take the fight to them.
I know last week up at Rensselaer in St. Joe, it probably a real frustrating game, if for no other reason, the weather. The game was shortened. You had Barnes making his comeback or his debut, and that just threw everything out of whack, I guess, the weather up there.
Yeah, where I was mostly disappointed last week is that, being a Kentucky Wesleyan and having gotten off to a rough start the last few years, not just this year, the past 2 years, being able to handle adversity, and we didn't handle adversity last week. Mother Nature presented a significant downpour of rain as soon as we kicked off, and we didn't respond well. And you can't say it was the weather because St. Joe's did. So
they had the same weather that we had, I guess.
Kudos to St. Joe's and kudos to their players. They came out, played really well, didn't let the elements bother them, and we did. So I'm disappointed there, but we've had a good week of practice. It is homecoming, so we're looking for a lot of people to come back and hopefully we can put on a good show.
You mentioned homecoming. I was going to bring that up because that helps fill the seats and helps with the atmosphere, and maybe something like that can give these kids a shot in the arm here this afternoon.
Yeah, I was really pleased. We had 2 home games this year, the first 2 weeks of the season. I was really pleased with our turnout. The Kentucky State game was a great atmosphere, and the Lindsey Wilson game was a terrific atmosphere. But we haven't wholesale done our part, and that's come out and provide the fans with a real quality product. So. And that's not saying win or loss. We just need to become competitive. Right now, we're not. And we're still a little bit of a hangover from the Liberty game against Division I. Devin LeGall is still questionable. Probably will not play today, and did not play last week against St. Joe. So And Devin's a terrific running back. I think was one of the better ones in our conference. So it limits what we can do with Jeff, who Jeff is certainly our best player. He's nationally ranked in all-purpose yards in the top 10. But we like to be able to play Jeff in a variety of different places, but he becomes the running back now. So, pending, in the next few hours, our training staff looking at Devin, right now he would probably be a no-go. So that's a little bit of a concern, and those things happen in the Liberty game, which, that's a tough environment as is anyway.
What about quarterback today?
Well, Will got, that last week was a tough game to get your comeback. When you took a step they have a grass field. When you took a step onto the field, you did sink a little bit. So I don't, again, no excuses. Will didn't perform real well. He did some good things, but physically he wasn't able to do the things I think he's capable of doing, like he will this week. I think should be a dry day. At least it is right now, and dry surface. I expect the old Will Barnes today.
Okay, is Will 100% now, mended up since his long layoff with injury?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the surgery and the pain he was having there from the hernia,
it wasn't an injury. I correct myself.
Yeah, he had surgery, but he's had very minimal pain since probably 2 weeks ago. Just certainly didn't want to play him against Liberty. I just didn't think it was the right game to bring him back, and he was still somewhat sore that week. Which Dalton Oliver performed really well as a quarterback. I thought in that environment at Liberty University, Dalton really stepped up and did a nice job. But this is an opportunity for Will to get. We got 6 more games and really to make a mark on the conference, because all 6 games are conference games. So
what's going to take to come up with that elusive victory here this afternoon, especially on homecoming? The atmosphere is going to be great, I think. And what's it going to take to pull one off here today?
Well, I think the start of the interview, being able to affect their defensive and offensive lines. I mean, that's with Missouri S&T typically, and they have a new head coach this year. But they always get the same kind of guys. They're big, stout linemen who can move a little bit, and that's the big. We're going to have to be able to disrupt their run game and be able to obviously establish a run game, which we failed to do both areas last week and for a majority of this season. So, like I said, our guys they're fired up. They're excited about being back home, and a lot of alumni back, and it's a great opportunity for us to show that these guys are still fighters.
Good luck today, Coach.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back in just one moment.